Yeah, that's the man who is now the interim CEO of the West Tigers. He will put his feet under the desk. No doubt he has started already, Sats. Shane Richardson. You worked with him at the Panthers. You played under his leadership.
Good operator.
As a South Sydney fan, I want to thank him for doing his bit to give us a premiership in 2014. And will history repeat itself third time in a row? He's joining us now on Sports Day. Shane Richardson, congratulations on the appointment.
Thanks very much, fellas. Appreciate it.
Now, Richo, what is it about you? I mean, you're about to go into semi-retirement and all of a sudden the bat phone rings. And what is it with you and clubs that need an SOS?
Look, but I've had a few opportunities over the last few years. I never really, got out of South, but I just needed to have a break and started my company up, Rich Digital, with my son Brent, which has been really good and cathartic and loved it. But, I wasn't really interested in most other things because, the crucial thing about taking over a club, you've got to have power and control to be able to do the things you need to do to turn things around. And that starts at board level. So I would never have considered it in the past with West Tigers. But when they came to me and explained what they were going to do, and I really only knew last Thursday, it's a chance to take a team from the bottom to the top, a great club like West Tigers, and try and pick up the second premiership. And I felt good about it. I spoke to my son and my family, and I told them I'd do it for interim 6 months and then see how we feel and go from there. But in that 6 months, I've got the power to be able to make the changes that needed to be done within the club to set it up for long term.
Now, you've been in this position before. Of course, when you came from Brisbane with Langy to go to the Cronulla Sharks, they became financially viable and minor premiers in 99, and then you go to Penrith in 2000, end of 2001, 2002, win a comp. You go to South and do the same. So when you weigh them all up, and I heard the press conference today, when you weigh them all up, you feel as though the West Tigers are in a much better position. What do you mean by that? Is that financially, commercially?
Well, let's just have a look at Cronulla was in liquidation when John and I went there. When they're on the bottom of the ladder in liquidation, and they didn't know they were going to survive the next month. So, it's a different. And then in Hull and England, they were in a relegation zone, and bottom of the ladder and all the rest of it. So, Penrith were wooden spooners. Never forget that. People do seem to forget that when we took over. And but they had money, mate. At the end of the day, they had money. Cronulla never had money. South had no money when I went there. We had to go through the drama of, revitalising the club through Russell's ownership, which was so important. We couldn't have done it without him. But when you go to West Tigers, mate, you've got a situation with an enormously strong leagues club, great training facility, a squad that needs to be built on, a quality young coach going forward. Mate, there's not too many negatives. People seem to think there's negatives because you want a wooden spoon, but Sats, as you know as well as I do, that can change overnight. And if the attitudes and ethos is right, and I think there's the making of a good club there.
Well, I love where you said you hate the word rebuild, because so do I, because you're not going to basically just strip the place back bare and start again. You've got some really good people that are in their positions there. What is the immediate focus, Richo, probably more so from a rugby league point of view, because that's where the fans look and they say, we want wins. So what's the immediate focus there?
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing you've got to do, mate, to win games, you need a good coach. And you need to put systems around that coach that support him and make him feel comfortable to be able to do his job. And that's really, really important. And make sure that he's focusing on what he has to do and not involved with a whole lot of bushfires that happen around the club that he needs to get involved with. And that's what I do, mate. I'll allow Benji to do his job, be the coach he wants to be, make the decisions on the team. Certainly, as I said today, tighten up what we do in recruitment, tighten the way we do recruitment, certainly tighten up leaks in the club and the bullshit that goes on with that. Just make things more like a real footy club. And then, mate, Benji and the squad have got to work towards, winning games. And that's, I can't do that for them. But what I can do is make Benji's job as easy as possible to be able to focus on doing the job.
Richard, how important is, and I see that they appointed a role around that general manager of rugby league role. How important is it for a CEO to have an astute general manager of rugby league that acts as a bit of a buffer to the football department?
Well, one of the problems you've got, mate, and that's why when I went back to South the last time when I was the NRL to go back, I said, Russell, we need to set up a system where, like the American NFL and English soccer, where you've got somebody running the administration who's really good at that, and then somebody running the football. I was a bit fortunate because I was good on both sides. I had football knowledge and I had it, but there's very few CEOs in the game who's got that. So you've got to set up a structure where that football department can operate really cleanly without interference. And at the same time, you've got to have an engine on the other side producing the money. And they don't always cross over. And I think that's one of the fallacies in the game today is that people are trying to make, square pegs in round holes. And, I think that's the crucial part about it. You've got to have a close look at it. The other thing people always forget, mate, is that, really, if the word football club is at the front of it, it's not an accounting club. It's not a sponsorship club. It's a football club, and it's the first thing you've got to focus in on making football successful.
Yep. Yeah, I love that. Hey, Richo, no doubt you've seen the report with the recommendations. Can we ask how many things are on the list or how many are a priority for you?
Mate, the answer is I have not seen the report. I knew of the governance changes that have happened, but I have not actually read the report yet, mate, so I'll read that. And the KPI, obviously this is the big part of it, but I'll go over that. I don't start till the 2nd of January, so I want to sort of get on to the things that I need to deal with straight away and let the boards handle that at the moment.
In saying that, Richo, seeing you haven't seen it, which is interesting, and it doesn't surprise me with you because you've been in this position not only in rugby league but in business as well, but have you got a bit of a management blueprint when you go into these situations that you just say, okay, I've got my checklist, I know what I've got to do?
Yep. Yeah, I do, mate. I do have that. I mean, the first thing is I never go into a club, thinking about sacking people. I want to go into a club and see sometimes the people are much better at their job than people give them credit for. They're just the systems they've worked on that haven't been successful. So I don't bring my own people into clubs. Maybe Langy and I, coaching boys, on one or two occasions. But as far as everything else goes, mate, I'm not going into the change. What I am going in there to do is to change systems around to make it workable. Things that I know work properly, communication that I know works properly, control and tightening of things and recruitment and everything else. I'm not about spending money. I've got a great saying and I mean it. I mean, you play just as well on rump steak as you do on fillet. So, and I think we've got a bit of fillet involved at the moment. We just got to make sure we tighten it up and make it a really tasty rump.
Now, there's a young man that's on the, and I heard your comments, and I love the way that and how the high praise you gave to Jarome Luai, not only as a rugby league player, but as a human being off the field and how important he is to a club. Now, you brought a young man who plays a lot like Jarome Luai and vice versa, Preston Campbell to the Panthers in 2003, and he was so important to the playing group. How important is Jarome getting him to the club in ensuring that this club tastes success sooner rather than later?
Well, the first thing is, mate, you can't put all the eggs in one basket. I mean, the Tigers been they've chased a lot of people over the period that I've been watching them without success. But the crucial thing about Jarome Luai is that I just know the quality of human being he is and the quality of leader he is and more importantly, the talent he is. So, yeah, of course it's important, mate. Everybody, if you haven't got a strong spine, you can't win. It's simple as that. You've got to get a strong spine. We've got a great young kid coming through at fullback. Dewey's still out with that. I think Dewey's a really outstanding 5'8". I really do. But he's not going to be back until June next year. You brought in Bud Sullivan. He's got to prove himself in that half role. But to bring in a Luau, mate, really makes that spine look special. But at the end of the day, you do your best. You make the offers, and hopefully it comes along. But I think that I'm not trying to walk away from it. I would have Jarome Luai in our club tomorrow, and I'll be doing everything I can to bring him to the club.
You're not the only one. I think a lot of
He's
people
the most
love
important part.
Yeah, absolutely. We're chatting to Shane Richardson on Sports Day, the interim.
I'll give you an exclusive this afternoon too. Here's an exclusive for you.
We'll take it.
We've actually withdrawn our offer. We've withdrawn our offer from Addin Fonua-Blake.
Okay. And why is that, Richo? Is that just based on the salary cap, or is it more a bit of a research around the player?
Oh no, I know he's a great player. He's one of the top 3 front rows of the game. But mate, we've got a really good. Our forward pack's really strong, and we can add to that through our young players coming through, and we've got a really great young half coming through too. But we don't want to seal that off. But we need flexibility in our cap to be able to do things that we need to do to make us stronger now. And from that point of view, it's in my opinion, and also Benji's opinion, because I wouldn't do it without Benji's. It's not anything to do with that. It's everything to do with where we need to focus our attention on.
I love the way you just keep including Benji in all your conversations, Richo. Have you had a have you had a good chat to him at all?
Yeah, I've had a really good chat with him this afternoon, and I think we've got a good rapport straight away, and he knows what I think, and I know what he thinks, it's give man, you can't make, at the end of the day, mate. Benji Marshall decides is the most important thing, whether we win and lose on Sundays, and so you can't bring players into the club that he doesn't want, or staff into the club that he doesn't want, or whatever it is. He's got to have a say in what's going on, and certainly with players, mate. I've never brought a player into a club yet that the coach didn't want. I mean, we'll have discussions and things about it and throw it back and forward, but when it gets down to the crunch and the coach says, "Look, mate, I don't want him," well, then he's not going to come. So it's as simple as that.
All right, take it easy on the bunnies, could you, for us? Don't go too hard on them.
Mate, I think the bunnies are specials to win it this year. I really do. I think last year was a bit of a hiccup, but they fixed the challenges, and they've brought probably one of the best players in the game into the club, and providing they keep well. I mean, they need to get some guru. The guru is involved, the God who overlooks Penrith, who stops any injury happening to anybody. They need one of those clouds to come over south, because the injury run last year was horrendous, and
it was.
I just cannot believe how often Penrith don't have injuries.
Must be that fresh mountain water, Sats. Is that what it is?
As
I
they
think
call
it's
it.
43 degrees.
The Nepean doctor. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Shane Richardson.
I remember Gary used to say, I used to say, Gary, I said, mate, there's a breeze coming. He said, no way, don't wish that on it, makes it hotter.
Yeah.
Said, all right, mate, there you go.
Exactly.
Hey, listen, good luck with the role, mate. We do appreciate your time. And
congratulations.
We've had so many fans contact us here at SEN, just so happy about the decisions that were made yesterday. And I tell you what, you've got some George fans nervous, because they now think they're going to get the wooden spoon, because the West Tigers are on the rise, Richo.
Well, it's mate, it's always a challenge, but you play football to win, and we'll be going out to win every game again next year.
Absolutely. Congratulations, and thanks for joining us on Sports Day, Richo.
Thanks, mate. Bye-bye.